To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
All right. How's everybody doing? Basement Boy Banter. Episode something.
30?
Sure.
Was it 30?
30.
Was it 30?
It is.
Okay, good.
It was, is, now happening. 30. It's 30. I'm really tired tonight, guys. I'm not even going to bullshit you. Like, I'm half on autopilot. I can barely see the camera. I was sleeping when he showed up. It's going to be really special tonight. Truly probably one of our greatest shows ever. So enjoy. I'm Thor. He's Brian. That's it. Let's do this. Let's knock this bitch out. I'm ready. So let's get right into it. I'm in no mood for jokes. Too tired. Suicide Squad pictures. There's a bunch of pictures that came out today. Fucking God. All right. There were a bunch of pictures that came out this week. There are 4 covers for Empire magazine that came out. We had a Joker cover, Harley Quinn cover, Deadshot cover. I told you it's going to be a good fucking show tonight. And we had an Enchantress cover. I said that right? Yeah, Whatever. So we had those 4 covers, and then there were a bunch of pictures. There's like a picture of like Dr. Harley Quinn, like in her doctor's uniform, like sitting in a room with Joker. There's some other pictures. I can't remember all of them right now. What do you think?
I think the covers looked really solid. The pictures were not bad, but I think the covers is where those pictures shine. If you see all 4 covers, there's not much more. I mean, if you really, really want to see the rest of the pictures, you can. But if you want the long and the skinny of it, I'd take the covers are solid and they're neat. The covers
are the main talking point here. I mean, getting to see Joker in his Arkham sweatpants, wearing no shoes, with a purple cane and like a full length purple coat. Is he shirtless under the coat?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's shirtless. So he's just like a homeless man, which is solid. You know, it's a good look. It's a good look. I know Jared Leto's still mad he wasn't cast as Chewbacca in the newest Star Wars movie. Did you see that video? There's like on Vanity Fair's YouTube channel. There's a video of J.J. Abrams answering questions from like famous people, and like one's from George Lucas, one's from Jared Leto. There's ones from like other people that he's worked with.
I'm way more interested in what George Lucas asked him.
George Lucas asked him what happened to Anakin's grandchildren.
That's all his question was?
Pretty much. It's like, so whatever happened to Darth Vader's grandchildren? And J.J. Abrams like, you tell me. I mean, obviously he's BSing, but like, it was pretty funny. Go check it out. It's out there. But that's neither here nor there right now. Technically, we're talking about
Empire.
The show? The TV show? The magazine. Suicide Squad. I'm on point. Yeah, it was cool. I mean, that movie's still like 9 months away, because it doesn't come out till August of next year. We had a lot of time. I mean, I'm more pumped for, obviously, Star Wars is a given, but Deadpool's in February, Batman vs Superman in March. Let's get through some of this stuff before we get too far ahead of ourselves. But the covers were cool, like you said. The covers were where it was at. Okay, so moving on from there, apparently, so everybody wants to be Captain Marvel, right? I mean, who is there an actress on the planet that doesn't want to be Captain Marvel? So we've had the Emily Blunt rumors forever. Fans want like Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica. Ronda Rousey has thrown her hat in the ring, and we all know how I feel about that, so there's no need to rehash my thoughts of Ronda Rousey. But now we have a new contender for the title of Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, whatever the heck they're going to call her, Olivia Wilde. So she's been in such fine films as Tron Legacy and others.
She was in Cowboys vs. Alien, wasn't she?
Yep. That's why I said others. So she's
wasn't
been in
that
some fine films. So what would you think of her as Captain Marvel?
Not bad, but I mean, at the same time, it's not like something that's going to get me super duper excited or anything. I think they're going to cast who they're going to cast.
So let's go out of our 4 here. You got Katie Sackhoff, Emily Blunt, Ronda Rousey, or Olivia Wilde. Who you got?
I mean, if I had to pick
Who's your choice?
from those 4, I guess Emily Blunt is probably the closest I'm going to get to
Good choice.
to what I want.
Good choice.
I don't know if any of them is perfect, but it was just like the Spider-Man thing. We hear like 20 different names, and then it comes out some random person who wasn't even
Did you see the new picture of him? It's like an Instagram picture or something, but he's got like the Peter Parker haircut, so it's like parted in the middle, and it's like a little bit length, and he's get cut now. He's got like muscles and stuff. I was pretty impressed. I was like, Tom Holland, all right.
That's, I mean,
I'm with
that
you
movie
though.
star money.
I think I'd go Emily Blunt out of those 4, but I think they should see with Captain Marvel. They might want to get a bigger name actress because people are going to be more unfamiliar with who she is as a hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they might want, instead of getting like a no name, you know what I mean, going the opposite route. I think a lesser known actress would be fine, but it's not really what Marvel does.
I think, honestly, like we said, Emily Blunt is enough known where I think she could cause draw, but at the same time isn't like huge.
No, and she's badass.
You're right.
You know, like Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat or whatever the fuck that movie's called this week. Like, you know, she was great in that. Mm-hmm. She's been great in a lot of things she's done, but she was excellent.
I also feel like she plays reserved really well and then flips it very quickly. So I think that'll be a good. I mean, I think she'd do a good job playing an alter ego, you know, of the superhero, but then switching it on to badass mode real quick.
I just want to hear who it is. Similar to like Spider-Man, like I haven't gotten to the point where I'm so tired of the news, like embargo on, you know, like Captain Marvel news, like we did with Spider-Man for a few weeks. But let's just cast it because it's. I mean, I guess it keeps getting pushed back and pushed up, and you know, somewhere in the next 3 years it comes out. I can't remember right now. Like it's somewhere
in the 20-year Marvel plan.
It happens at some point. I can't remember if she comes out during Infinity War, like in between 1 and 2, or after 2. I think it's in between 1 and 2, but don't quote me on that, or correct me if I'm wrong.
Or correct me if I'm wrong.
It's highly likely, highly likely. So something that I could really give a shit less about is this stupid Power Rangers movie. And thanks. So awkward, or someone put in the comments for last week's episode that they didn't give a shit either, so I'm not the only one who give a fuck less about this movie. But apparently they're done casting for the main Power Ranger roles, bunch of people you don't know and I don't care about. The movie is going to be called Saban's Power Rangers. So the jackass who bought the Japanese things decided he needed to put his name in front of Power Rangers, so people can be really confused as to, I thought they were Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now they're Saban, however the hell you pronounce it, Power Rangers. And they gave him a $35 million budget, which is roughly around the same amount of money that Deadpool is being made for, technically. I think Deadpool had like a 50, maybe a little north of $50 million budget. I mean, the new Gambit movie that doesn't even have a director with Channing Tatum's got like a $150 million budget for some freaking reason, which I still don't understand because that's a ridiculous amount of money for that movie. But 35 for, and I don't really want to spend a lot of time on this. Like, do you give a shit?
I like the idea, but at the same time, I think it's gonna blow over like the Gem movie did.
Nothing can be that bad.
Oh,
There is nothing on the planet Earth that can be as bad as that Gem movie.
I'm sure there are.
I mean, I don't know anyone who personally saw it. I didn't personally see it. I won't personally see it.
I heard
But-
a few rumors rolling around that it was probably one of the worst movies of the year.
Yeah, it tanked. I mean, there's bombs. Like, yes, Fantastic Four was no financial success, but damn, it can at least say we're not gemming the holograms. Even Fantastic Four and that pile of stinking human
Can
feces
say at
can see
least-
at least we're not gemming the holograms. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
That's rough.
that is rough. I feel bad for a lot of people involved in that movie, but they made their own bed. They lie in that shit for all I care at this point. So some Asian girl with a very weird last name, who I think's the first name is Pom, P-O-M, and has a last name that I can't even begin to pronounce, nor am I going to try. But she's been cast in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Apparently there's a rumor she's going to be Mantis, which is like another green chick. I don't know. I mean, nothing confirmed, but she was cast. It's neither here nor there for me. But it's not bad news. I mean, I'm just
Right.
not familiar with her. And like I said, I can't pronounce her name. So
And that just means she's a nobody.
that just means I have zero interest in, well, I mean, whatever. Who knows what the role is? You know what I mean? If they came out and said she's going to be like who she's going to be, then maybe I'd have,
Right.
a little bit more of an opinion. But for now, she's just an actress in a movie without a, title. So take it what it is. What else? Some other crap. Oh, speaking of crap, the Supergirl premiere was last week. Now, if you've watched this show over the past couple months, you may have heard me talk about the Supergirl show and my very, very low expectations. And my low expectations weren't even met.
Can I interrupt you for 1 sec?
Yeah.
I just want to point out, I was the one person who was willing to give that show a chance.
And you didn't watch it.
And I'm the one person who didn't watch it. Both Thor and his brother Toby watched it.
We both did. I DVR'd it.
And I was the only one who was like, it could be worth it. And I didn't watch it.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Corny to the fullest. I don't know. The action sequences were okay. It really seemed like a 90s superhero movie.
Yeah. Not in the good way.
And not in a good way. Some of the one-liners, like whoever she fought this week, like when we're going to do their final battle, in my planet, women kneel before men or something like that. And she's like, this isn't your planet. Like, it was a lot of those like girl power like references and like, well, good thing we have a girl. It was too much. They like beat you over the head with it. And then when she meets Jimmy Olsen and he's like, it's James Olsen. Only my mom and the big man can call me Jimmy. Blah, blah, blah. And he's now apparently African American and Supergirl's in love with him.
Oh man.
Because she was like, she has like a desk partner in the beginning. Spoilers, whatever. Well, I'm not even going to get into this. So in the beginning, she has some desk mate who's got some name, I could care less. And he's like, ask her on a date. And she's like, no, like, I'm not interested. And he's like, he says something about like, you're going to know it's going to be like kapow or kapam or something like that. And then right after she gets done meeting James Olsen, she walks out of the room and she's like, kapow or something like that. She says it to herself, to the camera though. Like I said, the show didn't have a lot of redeeming qualities for me. I only set up to record the season premiere. I mean, we all know I'm how bad I am with watching most shows anyways. And
he managed to make it through Supergirl.
I did. I've been doing really good with two shows.
Supergirl.
Well, Supergirl, because it's only had one episode. 3 shows technically if you count Supergirl. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm pretty much caught up on. I think I'm like 1 episode behind, maybe 2. The one show I'm fully caught up on, Star Wars Rebels, Season 2. And let's just go right into that. So, I talked about Rebels Season 1 a while ago, right? When I picked up the Blu-ray and how good it was. And like it really feels like Star Wars. Season 2 expands upon that notion so much more. I mean, the first 2-part miniseries, The Siege of Lothal, brings back Darth Vader. you see him in his prime, like kicking ass. And then they bring in there's new Inquisitors now. They reintroduce some characters from the Clone Wars. I won't say who. I won't spoil this show because this show is worth watching. If you haven't been watching it, Disney XD like replays the episodes all the time. So find a friend who has Disney XD.
They gotta milk that.
Yeah, and then use their DVR like I did with my brothers, and then tape all the episodes and set it up as a series. Because I watched all 5 episodes. I watched 4 episodes Friday night, and then I watched the 5th episode before you got here earlier. So I'm all caught up on Rebels season 2, and man, it's just getting better. It started, like I said, the Siege of Lothal. If you've never seen Rebels, you could start at the Siege of Lothal with the first 2. Like it's like a mini movie before season 2 technically, but you could start there and like you'd know what's going on. Like you could go from there. And I recommend, if you haven't really been doing much with the new Star Wars stuff, grab Rebels, like check it out, and then something else, Shattered Empire. That's another thing we're gonna talk about, but grab that. Like some of this, Journey of the Force Awakens stuff. We're under 40 some days, until the Force Awakens. So,
which reminds me, I was at Barnes and Noble the other day picking up CDs, and I looked because they have a audiobook section. They have a lot of Star Wars stuff. They did not have Aftermath because I was looking.
Audiobook,
I was looking for it for you,
so
I can be like, here you go.
You can get it on Audible.com.
Yeah,
I know you can get it on Audible.com.
It wasn't at Barnes and Noble.
Did we talk about the new? We talked about the new novels that they announced, right? Like Life Debt and Bloodlines.
I think that was
New Republic Bloodline. Was that last week or 2 weeks ago?
One of the two.
Yeah, it was
real close.
It was early. But no, I'm excited. I'll eventually finish Aftermath, or at least I'm going to tell myself that I'll eventually finish Aftermath.
And then tell you guys that he finished it.
I might. I mean, well, no, I won't. I won't lie to you guys. I know. I meant like I might actually finish it. I might actually finish it. I wouldn't just say I finished it. It's I wouldn't. I mean, I've already been so forth. I finished the comics. Like I finished these in like 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, because they take less than 5 to flip through them.
I know.
Half of it is pictures.
I know.
There are a few pages with less than a paragraph worth of words. Definitely.
That's my kind of reading right there. That is my kind of reading. Well, actually, let's just go right into that then. So Shattered Empire issues 3 and let me see if I can get him to stand up here for you guys. Issue 4, and I'm sure you can see. Yeah, hold on.
I got it.
I got it.
I can just hold it.
Hold on.
I got it.
You sure? You don't have to hold it.
That's fine.
Hold it. Just let it go. See, if it falls, it falls. Whatever.
I got it.
Will it fall?
Start.
Hold on.
Start. No, I
hold
got
on.
it.
I got it. Perfect. Whatever. So issues 3 and 4. We are fucking professional, like, operation over here, hands down. I mean, if there's one thing we're known for, it's our goddamn professionalism above all else. So issues 3 and 4, Shattered Empire. I told you guys I'd get them. I picked them up. I read them. There's some great stuff. I mean, I said 2 or 3 episodes ago that issue 2 ended on a big cliffhanger with Naboo and Princess Leia, and 3 picks up right there. So you got Poe's mom. With Leia on Naboo. You got Poe's dad with Han Solo running a separate mission. I think one of the cool parts about issue 3 is there's a part where Leia walks in to the old hangar where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon fought Darth Maul.
Yep.
And she senses the presence. So you can see some of her Force sensitivity like kick in there. I thought that was really cool. And then issue 4 is the wrap up. It's got Luke in it, obviously, as you see on the cover. He's great in it. I mean, he's the Luke Skywalker we've all expected to, that we want to see. There's some cool little stuff in there. There's some stuff that I think leads into The Force Awakens. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but Force trees, Force trees. That's all I'm going to say. There's some stuff. If you haven't been reading the comics, like if you're not reading Kanan, or you're not reading Vader, or the Star Wars, or the Chewbacca, or Lando, or I think, well, those are both miniseries. The on-running ones are like Star Wars, Vader, and Kanan are like the only on-running. Leia's already wrapped up, Lando's already wrapped up, and Chewbacca just started. Shattered Empire was only 4 issues. So if you're going to, long story longer, if you want to start somewhere, go pick up Shattered Empire 1 through 4. It's Journey to the Force Awakens. It starts right at the Battle of Endor and goes, 9 to 12 months past that point. So you get to see like the beginnings of what's happening post Jedi. It doesn't really delve deep into it, but I have a feeling a lot of it. That's why I have a feeling they're holding a lot of the stuff for what happens in that 30-year span till actually after The Force Awakens comes out, because then they can tell more stuff without spoiling what's about to come. You know what I'm saying? So, but pick them up. I mean, they're worth a purchase. And there'll be a trade paperback probably in the next month that has all 4 issues combined in one giant book. And I'd say grab that if you can. There are trade paperbacks for the first 6 issues of Star Wars and the first 6 issues of Vader. So pick those up maybe. I want to pick up both of them, but I know there's a crossover happening in November between the Star Wars comics and the Vader comics. They're going to be doing a crossover, so look out for that. But yeah, I was talking to the comic book guy at the shop when I picked these up, and he said the Marvel Star Wars comics are going crazy right now. Like they're really selling, which is good. Sure. Which is good to see. It's good to see. So you had a chance to page through a couple of them. I mean, you weren't.
I wasn't I didn't read them hardcore or anything.
Right.
We were watching
Ash versus the Evil Dead. So.
Right. Well, and maybe that was my problem, but it wasn't bad. But maybe I'm just a book person.
But you also didn't read issue 1 and 2.
Right.
So you weren't invested into the character. You picked up issue 3. Which would be a weird issue to start with.
Right. It was still hard to force myself to read the couple word bubbles. But maybe I'm not a huge
But the visuals.
I mean, they're really amazing, pretty, right?
Yeah. I mean, the artistry on them is top notch for sure. Top notch for sure. So, all right. So we covered that. Well, you talked about it just a second ago. So let's move right into that. Ash versus the Evil Dead technically premiered yesterday.
Yeah.
We watched it tonight just before the show. Got together, DVR'd on Toby's DVR like we said we were going to. So now we're gonna watch that every week before we do the show, and we'll do a little recap.
Hopefully.
It's 10 episodes, so we'll get it because it comes out Saturday night. So even if we tape on Sunday,
right.
Saturday or Sunday, whichever day we tape on, we'll be able to watch it. But the first episode aired yesterday. We watched it, like I said just a little bit ago. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was everything you wanted. Now, it is kind of sad that since the rights for Ash vs. the Evil Dead are so screwed up, I mean, the Evil Dead franchise, the rights are held by multitude of different people. So separate people own Army of Darkness, that own Evil Dead 2, that own Evil Dead. So that's why they can't use Shop Smart, Shop S Smart, or talk about the Army of Darkness stuff, because technically the only thing they can pull from is the first movie.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a continuation from the first movie as opposed to a continuation post Army of Darkness. But it is 30 years after the first.
Well, and they never say those movies didn't happen,
right.
But you can tell that they're hinting they happened, and if we can get the rights, we're gonna include some stuff. But until that, we're just gonna
they dance around it, they don't really need to tell those stories because they're not it's more about what's happening now.
Right. The only story that needed to be told technically was the first one, because that tells you what the book is.
30 years ago, we went to the cabin, found the book, read the Necronomicon, unleashed evil. And, it's been after me ever since. That's really all you need to know.
Right. You don't need to be and then I went back in time.
Right. Yeah, don't confuse everybody with that anyways. So it starts great. I mean, the humor's good. They start introducing you to some characters. They introduce the Lucy Lawless character. Well, they don't introduce you to her, but she has a little quick cameo in the diner. But Bruce Campbell steals the show. I mean, that's what the show's for. I mean, it's a great vehicle for him. Just in that first opening scene, him doing the girdle and then going to the bar and getting that chick, nailing her in the bathroom, spoiler, whatever. And then, what progresses from there, I won't spoil. But I liked what they're setting up in this series. I think it's going to be fun.
I was surprised because like your nephew said, it's way scarier than.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still really funny, but you can definitely tell it's horror and comedy, not just comedy with some jump scares.
Right. No, it's definitely a horror first, comedy second. I thought it was definitely, yeah. I mean, they were really going at.
It was really basically the beginning and the end had the funny parts.
The middle was more.
Middle
yeah,
was
more scary.
90%
Yeah.
scary.
Definitely. I liked it. I liked the nice blend. I thought they did a great job. I can't wait. I mean, when he put on the chainsaw hand, like that was, for me, that was the moment right
Well,
there.
and it
You know what
feels
I mean?
corny enough. Like, it doesn't feel like, because I can't stand like Sharknado and movies that are so obviously purposely corny that they lose, because you lose some of the funny, it's corny value when you're so purposeful with it
Right.
that it hurts.
Right.
Whereas this feels like almost it rides the line like it's supposed to. Like, it's corny, but at the same time,
Oh, yeah.
because the horror is good in it, you can tell they're trying.
Well, and that is kind of the Evil Dead franchise, though, is to kind of be like, walk that line between like cornballish, scary, funny, you know what I mean? It's like a delicate balance. But I think part of that's having Sam Raimi back directing, having Bruce Campbell back, having like the original people who did this 30 years ago back to do it again. They know the property, you know what I mean? Just like the guys doing Rebels, they understand Star Wars, and they're making something that feels like Star Wars. These people understand the Evil Dead and are making something that continues that story without, you know, being over the top or bombastic just for the sake of doing
Being
it. Because,
over the
I mean,
top.
they totally could. And I mean, I guess there's probably some people who will argue some of the episode was a little much at certain points.
I mean,
but
you could argue that, but at the same time, it still reined itself in. It wasn't like so ridiculous.
That's a good point. When it did get to that point, it would pull itself back or go more serious, scary, and like cut that, you know, bring you back.
They never were like, we're going to be ridiculous for the rest of the episode. It
Yep.
was always like, okay, we're going to do a ridiculous thing. Then we're going to be kind of scary, serious again.
They had a nice balance. You know, it was a well balanced.
Well, and
show.
I agreed with your brother. Right when it ended, he's like, "It's already over."
Yeah.
It flies.
It's only a 45-minute episode. You know?
Yeah, I figured it was like 30 or something. Yeah, how
it's
quick it went by.
45 minutes.
It flies.
It goes quick. There's only 10 episodes, so it's gonna be a short. You know,
Don't watch it before work because you will be late. It
Right.
zooms by.
and you're not gonna want to go to work because that show does not convey like people with good work ethics. You know, everyone left their shift early in that.
I like it
episode.
when he's like, cover for you when you take a nap.
We all need someone to cover for us when we take a nap. I need a nap.
Well, and it's funny because whenever I'm working, especially with people I haven't said it to before, like a new person or I'm new somewhere or whatever,
Right.
My favorite thing to do is to ask the other person if they want to do shift naps. So, and I always play it smart. I'm always like, you get the first one because they're more likely to say yes if they get the
Right.
first one. And then they're like, I'll cover for you for about an hour. Then I get the next one. Or like what I used to do when I'd train people in, I'd be like, okay, there comes a time in every, whatever this job is, career,
Right.
you got to manage the thing by yourself. You know, we're going to make it a controlled environment where you can come get me and just wake me up from my nap versus when you're all by yourself and you can't come get me. So you're going to get a little experience by yourself, but then you can still come wake me up if you need me.
That's a good way to turn it. It's a training opportunity.
I've never had
While I
anyone
nap,
bite. I've had
you
a lot
know?
of people consider it, but
no
nobody's
no
ever
takers?
never
No
taken a
takers?
nap at work yet.
One of these days. One of these days you'll get there.
I
So,
just got to get someone who's tired enough.
I'm tired. I'm always tired though. I'm old. That's what happens when you get old. You want to sleep a lot. So one more thing. Is that it?
No? I think that's...
No. The Civil War trailer.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
We've been talking about this trailer for a while now. We've been speculating a lot of different things. There was a report that came out earlier this week. It was going to be attached to Spectre. Bond. I was great. Cool. You know, let's see it. Then comes out, nope, it's going to be attached to Star Wars. Now, it's not going to premiere with Star Wars. If if you're like concerned, you don't have your, debut tickets for The Force Awakens, but you want to see this trailer, it's going to drop online, a few days prior to The Force Awakens. It'll probably come out the week before or, earlier that week and then go up online, and then it'll be attached in front of Star Wars. So, I mean, no worries. I'm excited, though. Like, that's just... it kind of is funny, too, because if you think back to when we saw Age of Ultron, what trailer played before that?
Star
Wars trailer.
Well, and we said it's gonna be on Civil War.
Yeah, one, it just makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes sense. So, that's about that. We talked about Agents Shield. Been keeping up on that. Agents Shield's good. I like the Inhuman stuff. Not quite sure. I mean, there's a lot of years until the Inhumans movie. So I'm wondering what the end game is for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, for what they can do, what they can't do.
I trust them. They'll figure it out.
It'll be interesting to see. And this whole, like, planet that's coming to, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on. Check it out, though. It's better than people say it is. I'll say that much. It is. It's better than people say it is. Well, what do we got left? Nothing. Oh, WWE Minute. Real quick. WWE stuff. So last week was the pay-per-view. We told you all about that. You can go back and watch the episode. Monday Night Raw was all right. Roman Reigns is now the number one contender for the championship belt.
Okay.
So he beat I'm trying to think here. Kevin Owens. It was like a fatal four-way. Alberto Del Rio and somebody else in like a fatal four-way match. And so now he's the number one contender. Kane came out to get retribution for them taking away Undertaker at Hell in a Cell, the Wyatt family, and they ended up beating Kane and taking him away. So now, I mean, I can almost guarantee you're going to see Team Taker versus Team Wyatt, Wyatt family versus Taker family at Survivor Series, 25 years of the Undertaker. They're already pumping that. So you're going to have Bray and his three behemoths versus Kane, Undertaker, and...
Who knows?
Who knows at this point?
I remember the biggest comment I've seen about that pay-per-view was people were like, I was just praying for Brock to come back out and save Undertaker
and help Undertaker
out of respect.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's good.
But that's not who Brock is. Brock's not
right. But that's good, like setup. You can't tell me that's not a beautiful setup. The way that was real raw emotion when people were booing them.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like, oh yeah, this is fun, boo. It was like, no, you put him back.
That's like, well, it's just like when the streak got ended. The raw emotion in that, I felt bad for whoever had to follow that match. Like, I think they did the women right after that.
Because they knew people were going to need a break.
Well, because everybody was just going to tune out and be just like emotionally distraught. And so I watched NXT, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago when they did the pay-per-view. That was great. I think we talked about it. I haven't really watched. I'll let NXT episodes build up, and then I'll watch like 3 or 4 in a row over like a 2-day period. So, but watch it. If you're not watching NXT or Raw, tune in.
There's some good stuff coming with Survivor Series.
We're getting into the better part of the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So, tune back in. So, anything else you got, Brian? That's it.
We're good.
I think we're good. Let's call this one episode 30. I wish it was a little bit more, festive.
Whee!
Yeah. So, well, you know where to find us. Just check Basement Boy Banter on anything. You'll find us. Subscribe, like the video, comment, tell your friends, share the video. It takes you seconds. Just say, hey, watch these two dumbasses talk nerd, and we'll appreciate it. We'll give you a shout out on the show if you do that. We will. I promise. So with that being said, I'm Thor. He's Brian. From all of us here in the basement, until next time, have a good one. If you like what you just saw, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and like our Facebook page.